Hey guys, Zen here, and welcome back to a new video. The biggest turning point in Rainbow Six Siege's history is now live, and there's a lot. And so, if you haven't kept up, today we're getting into 10 changes with Operation Shadow Legacy. This one should get you all caught up if you're new to Rainbow Six Siege, and if you've been here through everything, then I hope you find it refreshing. Now, guys, this video is sponsored by my friends over at Ubisoft, and they want you guys to know about the incredible Shadow Legacy Battle Pass. So, from September 10th through October 19th, the Shadow Legacy Battle Pass will be available in the game. Of course, in the free track, you can unlock special items just for playing Rainbow Six Siege, and personally, there's every reason to, because the iconic Sam Fisher Splinter Cell goggles are unlocked in a free tier, and so if you felt like Zero was missing his signature, they've got it covered. And so, guys, click the link at the top of the description to check out the new Battle Pass for yourself and earn rewards just for playing the game. Now, for me, the best piece here is the new Swamp Trek uniform and shrub cover headgear for Mute. I mean, it's literally on par with an Elite, and I'm going with this one as my favorite. So guys, click the link and let me know what your favorites are, and of course, thank you to Ubisoft for sponsoring this video. So, getting started at number 1, because it changes everything about the future of Rainbow Six Siege, and it's the rollout of new content. Starting here with Year 5 Season 3, there will only ever be one new operator per season, and this of course applies to Season 4 of Year 5, Year 6 of Siege, and is most likely a permanent update to what's been expected. Now, there's always been 2 new operators each season for Rainbow Six Siege, and after Operation Health in Year 2, the following seasons actually launched with 3. That's where we were introduced to Ella and Sophia, but starting this season, that's being changed to 1, and I think this is one of the best changes the devs could have ever made. With only one new operator, it gives them the chance to balance out the meta and also upgrade other parts of the game that need attention. Recently, it's been announced that the sound engine for Rainbow Six Siege will be getting a massive update just to make sound a much better experience, and with this season, we get 2 reworks with both Thatcher and Chalet that probably wouldn't have been possible if dev time was split between 2 brand new operators. When a new operator is introduced into Siege, every single map needs to be considered, as well as literally every single existing operator and how they'll affect each other. And so, sure, it is one less character added to the roster, but it'll undoubtedly make Siege a better game as a result. And so that starts now. Number 2 is a very long overdue change to Thatcher that reworks his EMP. Now, this change is fascinating because it proves just how far Siege has come. Thatcher is a Year 1 operator, and at the start of the game, his gadget was the only way to help Thermite get walls open against Bandit. There has always been Twitch, but the shock drone serves almost no purpose once Bandit starts tricking, and so if you wanted to get through, you had to bring a Thatcher, and it's basically where that peanut butter and jelly synergy with Thermite came to be. But after 5 long years of Thatcher throwing out an EMP and destroying every single gadget within range, it has been an update that's been needed in the meta. Now, his EMP only disables the gadgets it affects, and so from goo to Capcan traps, Bandit batteries, and mute jammers, they'll all go static and not work properly for a time, and then they'll come back online and work as usual. Now, this does affect the ability to trick as Bandit, where even if you pick up an affected battery, it will still be affected by the EMP, which of course makes time for a breach. This is absolutely game-changing as Thatcher, and it's betting on lowering his band rate, which as of last season, he was the most banned attacker in Rainbow Six Siege. Next up at number 3 is the trifecta of pre-reinforced hatches, the hard breach charge, and the buff to Maverick. So, for those of you who don't know, previously the devs tested out pre-reinforcing every single hatch on the outside of the maps that have them. If you've been wondering why they would make such a dramatic change, it's mainly to do with all of the hard breaching utility in the game, and also the brand new secondary hard breach charge. Now that it's Year 5 of Siege, you no longer need to rely on dedicated hard breachers to get walls open. So yes, Ace, Thermite, and Hibana are the most efficient at their job, but they aren't exclusive anymore, because a handful of operators now have the hard breach charge that can open up a hole large enough to crouch through, vault, or destroy a hatch. Additionally, Maverick gets another gas canister. So you guys read the title, and for me, this is the perfect buff to him because it isn't anything super fancy. For the times the defenders are using Kaid to seal off the outside hatches, bring a Maverick to open them up no matter what, and with the extra gas canister, he should be able to get 2 full hatches open. They have since reverted the change and mentioned that pre-reinforced hatches won't launch with Season 3, but they haven't ruled it out and are still looking for feedback. Number 4 is the newest member of Team Rainbow, and also the first from the Rainbow Operational Staff, or ROS, and of course we're talking about Zero. So they did recently change his operator card. That was a bit interesting, but you guys know what he does by now. For this one, I wanted to focus on his loadout because my thoughts have kind of changed. Originally, I felt as though the new assault rifle, the SC3000K, was the clear winner and was just the better option, but after a bunch of playtime, I've definitely leaned more into the MP7. ADS time is a stat that isn't super super clear in the game, and mobility is kind of an underrated element of the weapons, but because of how Intel-based Zero is, where he's on and off the cams all the time, the light and fast MP7 just goes to work, and the fact that it has the new 1.5x is just the topper here. Now, the 3000K is a beast, like make no mistake, it hits hard, and there really is no wrong in choosing it. But personally, I'm an SMG guy, and if you've spent any time at all with Bandit, you already know what the MP7 does, and so yeah, 5 on the list is something I think we can all benefit from, and it's the new Squad Finder for Rainbow Six Siege. This is the first time that the devs have really offered this kind of functionality, and if you're a solo queue player like myself, it could make all the difference. Instead of joining 200 different Discord servers or combing through the forums looking for the perfect team, this gives you a bunch of different ways to personalize your search and find exactly what you need. Now, you can choose what kind of player you are so that there's no surprises. If you rush with Ashe, well, you can be honest about that. If you focus on intel, on defense with Valkyrie, there's that kind of player as well. I thought for a brand new season, and really the biggest one yet, that you guys could use a squad and hopefully you assemble the dream team. Number 6 is the most obvious for season 3, and we're talking about the new sights and scopes. So of course, Rainbow Six Siege has introduced a bunch of new scopes into the game, and they're changing the meta of basically every single operator. It also makes certain ops that share weapons feel even more different because one may have a sight you prefer where the other does not, especially with the 2 Frenchmen on defense, Doc and Rook. Doc maxes out with the 1.5 and Rook with the 2.0, and so if you want the range, you'll need to pick Rook. On the MPX, Valkyrie doesn't have any zoomed scopes where Warden gets a 1.5, and it really makes all the difference. And then finally, if you've been a DMR lover but just haven't found much reason to choose them, they now come standard with the highest zoom optic in Rainbow Six Siege, which is the new 3x scope. The old tried and true ACOG used to be a 3.0 zoom, but they recently bumped it down to 2.5, and so this new scope takes over that range, and at least for now, it's exclusive to DMRs. Just for reference, my favorites from top to bottom are the 1.5x, then the 2x, the new red dot sight, then the 3x for DMRs, and finally the new holographic to round it out. 7 is all about the ping system. First is ping 2.0. For those unfamiliar, everything in the game now has an assigned ping, and so if you notice a Gers mod, just ping it, and a Gers mod icon will appear, letting the entire team know where it's located. Additionally, drones now finally have the ability to ping as well. There's a white dot in the center of the screen, and a lot of people have been wondering why it's a thing, and what it's really for is for you to have some kind of aim marker for while you ping, and this actually helps a lot while droning. Now that drones can ping, it helps when you're trying to make a push and need a sort of guiding light, and it's also a dirty way to set up some kills by pinging an enemy that may be unaware and pulling off a wallbang. These 2 new features really add depth to the whole ping system and makes the whole thing a lot more modern in comparison to some other titles, and I think it's something that just fundamentally changes the way you play Rainbow Six Siege. Number 8 are the map bans. So this is actually a smaller update in general, but in ranked, there's now the option to ban a certain map from the match and choose to play on one you prefer. The match starts with 3 options, and both teams choose which maps to ban, and if they choose the same map, then the last 2 are randomized. Overall, you guys get it. Outback is now completely out of the ranked map pool. Let us move on. 9 on the list is the match replay system, and it's honestly quite underrated. A lot of people think of it as a way to go back and watch your own gameplay and of course learn from it and get better, but the real play here is to watch the enemy's gameplay and figure out exactly how they got the upper hand. Match replay allows you to literally watch the entire match from every single player's perspective, and so if there was a guy that was just dominating the whole match, you can check out every little move that he made and maybe learn a thing or two. This is also obviously a great tool to see if someone is cheating. I think going back and watching is a great way to spot it, but honestly, it's just a new feature that's never really been possible in the past, and whether you want to learn or just bask in your own glory, this is one of the better additions this season. It is currently in testing, and so the full release still isn't live, and because of that, it has flown a bit under the radar, but it is something to look forward to just to see where it all went wrong. And then finally, here at number 10, no Tachanka Rework. The number 1 question I've heard across the board is where is the rework to Tachanka, and it looks to be saved for a later season. Season 4 would honestly be the best place for it to launch because it would be a great way to round out this year, but also Shadow Legacy is absolutely packed with content, like stuffed. And so delivering a mega update like the Tachanka Rework on top of all of this would be a lot. There are so many new features and things to consider with this season that you don't want the Lord to be overshadowed or underappreciated. So ultimately, guys, I think it was the right call. But that's going to do it for our video today. Guys, remember to check out the brand new Shadow Legacy Battle Pass with the link at the top of the description. It's available from the 10th of September to the 19th of October, and there's plenty of stuff to unlock completely for free, including this spectral range headgear for Nock. It's absolutely sick and another one of my favorites. If you did enjoy it, drop a like. Thanks to Ubisoft for sponsoring, and thank you for watching the video. It's been Zen. Hey, I'm out.